Well, you guys have obviously bumped into lots of celebs in the crowd, around and about, backstage, all that kind of thing. How does one go about spotting a celebrity at Glastonbury?
I mean, you just need to keep, do you know what? You would be like, because at some festivals, there's fancy VIPs, they just hang out there. That's not the way it is at Glastonbury. They get in the mix.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably those people that look a bit more conspicuous, maybe a hat, maybe sunglasses. That's the sort of thing I would be keeping an eye out for. And you can sort of realize, like for Pyramid Stage, towards the left, that is where the hospitality people come out. If you linger around there, you might see people coming in and out. That's where, before, when I went just as a punter, that's where I went to spot people. I was like, oh, they come out there.
And celebrities are like us, you know, you've got one nice pair of sunglasses, maybe a nice suede jacket that you're going to take. You're probably going to wear that over the course of the whole festival. So if you've seen it once, like that's that jacket again. And also people like Stormzy, you know, so tall. I remember last year, him and Maya, he was in like the full tracksuit and, you know, that's completely obvious. But there are points when everyone turns into Paul Mescal. You're like, is that just a guy in short shorts or is that Paul? And, you know, when you're thinking, is that him?
There is a lot of Irish there.
I love that because there's all these like, let's say girls having a nice time thinking, I snogged Paul Mescal. No, you didn't.
But I think that's the thing with Glastonbury more than any other festival, because they tend to, other festivals, celebrities, performers, jet in, jet out. People go and they stay the whole time. Like your Friday night performers will still be there on Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. Well, because it's just really difficult to get a ticket, isn't it? So if you're there, enjoy it. Absolutely. Kelly, you told me a story about finding a celebrity in the crowd once and a row ensued.
Yes, this is back in 2007. Now, she's not with us anymore, but it was Peaches Geldof. I actually had to go back into my archives and reread this story because it was so long ago, I can barely remember. But she was a big fan of Bright Eyes and she was friends with him. I was going to watch him and basically just happened to be in front of me. And I was like, oh my God, Peaches Geldof. And she was on her phone, yelling into her phone, being like, you need to get here now. This is so important to me. And it basically turned out her boyfriend at the time, Fred Les, was not there. And he arrived just at the end of the set. And then they spent the last song of the set just fighting. She was like, this was really important to me. Why aren't you here? Why weren't you here? What were you doing? And I loved it, obviously. And I remember it ran in a newspaper called Peaches and Scream.
Love a pun. Very good. I just think this is like, I've said this before, but you know, you get people in a field with the cider and they just forget that they're famous, I think.
Oh, definitely. At Glastonbury, that is the vibe.
That's why it's so brilliant.